So before we start, today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. And if you don't know what Skillshare is an online learning community that provides thousands of classes that range from design, photography, video, illustration, productivity, and so many more. And it's all for you curious and creative people out there. Now, I wanted to mention that for my thumbnails, I use my laptop, which is the Asus ZenBook Duo, then the stylus that comes with it, some music, and Photoshop. In this video, I can't teach Photoshop, but luckily, Skillshare has a wide range of Photoshop classes, from beginners to advanced learners. And for me, I watched Meg Lewis's class, which is the basics of Photoshop 2013 Fundamentals for Beginners. And watching this actually refreshed my grade 7 Photoshop muscle memory. And what's great about Skillshare is that they are kind enough to offer a free trial of Skillshare premium membership for a limited time before you decide to pay less than $10 per month. So thank you again Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. My first step is to choose an image, and for me, I already take a screenshot from my edited video since it already has a preset and I wanted my thumbnails to have a consistent look. Once you already decided what photo you want, then let's open up Photoshop. So if you are screenshotting from your video, then you can just open your photo in Photoshop, or if not, when you create a new canvas, it has to be 1:80 by 720. Then yeah, let's go. First is I add a text to it. The fonts that I like to use now for my thumbnails is Futura, Bold, Italic, because it's easier for me to trace rather than like the thin fonts. You have to make sure that, of course, you have like a thumbnail caption. For me, essay, midterms week. So after you have your text laid out, so I like to put it here. If you noticed from my thumbnails, I like to have that wave thing. So how I do that is you go to this button here, and then it's a warp text. So for me, I like to do flag. There you can see there's a curve to it now, and you can shape how curvy it is or how normal it is. It's really up to you on how you want to do it. You can choose as well what color you want. It's nice since midterms week is kind of like a danger kind of thing. So the next part is when I would use my stylus. So you have to make sure that you have a new layer before you write on the text, because if you make mistakes, then you won't accidentally erase the text as well. So B for brush. I think the orange is a bit too light, so I'm gonna go for a darker shade. Or if not a darker shade, we can also go with another color. So you gotta have your color theories right. I hope this works, so I'm gonna go trace this. The reason why I stuck with this thumbnail style is because when I do freehand, it's really hard and it looks kind of messy. So having to trace the font is more easier for me, and just it saves me a lot of time because you just trace, duh. And it looks neat for me. Instead of taking out the erase button or the erase control, use Control Z for Windows or Command Z for Mac. That means you undo the mistake that you made. It takes like less than a second to undo that mistake rather than taking out your eraser. So what I do next is that I would select my handwriting thing, and then I would move it. So like that. So it gives you depth to it. You can also just adjust it as well. to how you like it. But then, of course, for me, it's not the final product because I find it a bit too plain. So what I would do next is I could just doodle on it, just to give it like more personality. So when it comes to doodling your thumbnails, then it's your creative freedom on how you want to do it. For me, I think I'm just gonna follow what looks good. I'm gonna follow the flow. So yeah, just watch me do whatever I want. Before we move on, I wanted to show you guys two other styles that I also like to use for my thumbnails. The first one I call the ghost because as you can see, it's just an outline without the font. And the second alternative is I call the triple deck depth because there are 3 layers, so it consists of the handwrite thing, then the base layer, and the darker layer underneath, and that just creates thrice the depth that you may want for your thumbnails. So yeah, that's it. Now, I am adding a subtitle underneath the main title itself because, I don't know, it just gives it more personality, like a diary feel. And it also acts as a teaser trailer for your videos and for your viewers so that they know what's in store for them. And you can just do this either fully font or fully freehand drawing. It's really up to you because the main focus here is on the title itself. So just make sure you're not clickbaiting your viewers. So make sure you save your progress. Okay, so here's the final step. So you go to image and then you go to image size. Then you have to make sure that your picture is 1280 to 720. And as you can see over here, my image size used to be 5.93 and now it's 2.64. That's really the standard of YouTube. They don't care about high quality thumbnails. They don't care about how much art you put into your thumbnails, but that's what I do for my thumbnails. I hope you learned something, or just I hope you don't judge my style because it's really my favorite style because, again, it saves me some time and it just gives me a lot of creative freedom with it. So thank you for watching this video. I guess stay tuned for more. Okay, bye!